Imagine stepping out your back door and instantly disappearing. The noise of the city fades away. The neighbors' windows are blocked by walls of twisting branches and cascading vines. You are no longer in a small, cramped backyard. You are in a secret sanctuary, a place where mirrors create portals to other worlds, and old, forgotten furniture blooms with new life. Imagine creating this private resort not by spending a fortune on landscaping, but by using what you already have. Today, let's build your escape. Welcome back to Home and Garden Borneo. We believe that the most magical gardens aren't bought. They are built with patience, creativity, and a little bit of upcycling. If you love turning ordinary spaces into extraordinary retreats, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are starting a new weekly series dedicated to budget dream gardens, and you won't want to miss a single episode. Also, I'm curious, where in the world are you escaping from today? Let me know in the comments below. I love seeing our community grow across the map. One, the Driftwood privacy wall. True privacy is not about building a fortress that shuts the world out. It is about crafting a gentle embrace that holds your peace within. Imagine a barrier that feels as alive as the garden itself. Instead of cold concrete or stark plastic fencing, visualize the weathered soul of driftwood and fallen branches, stacked with intention to form a living tapestry. Each piece of wood carries a memory of the river or the forest, its grain worn smooth by time and elements. When you weave them together, standing tall against the edge of your property, you create more than just a wall. You create a backdrop for the theater of nature. The gaps between the branches allow the breeze to whisper through, while dappled sunlight dances upon the earth, filtering the harsh glare of the outside world into a soft, golden glow. This structure invites climbing vines to find their foothold, slowly turning the brown hues of timber into a vertical meadow of green. It stands as a silent guardian, separating the noise of the street from the symphony of your sanctuary. As the wood settles and the leaves take over, the boundary disappears, leaving only the feeling of being held in a safe, secluded embrace. And as we turn our gaze from the edges of the garden inward, we find new ways to expand what the eye can see. Two, the portal mirror. In the smallest of spaces, magic is often just a matter of perspective. Imagine walking toward the edge of your garden and finding not a wall, but a window into a world that never ends. By placing a weathered mirror against a fence or amidst a tangle of ivy, you create a silent portal. It captures the dancing light of the afternoon sun and throws it back into the shady corners, doubling the beauty of every bloom it reflects. The mirror does not judge, it simply witnesses. It takes a humble patch of daisies and turns it into a field. It transforms a narrow path into an infinite journey. The frame, chipped and worn by seasons of rain and wind, tells a story of resilience, softening the hard lines of boundaries. When you gaze into it, you see the garden from an angle you never knew existed, a secret twin of your own sanctuary. This optical whisper tricks the eye but soothes the spirit, making the confined feel boundless. It reminds us that nature is always larger than the space it occupies. And as the visual stillness of the mirror captivates our eyes, another element waits to engage our ears, bringing a new rhythm to our retreat. Three, the zero-pump still pond. Water is the soul of any landscape, a liquid jewel that captures the mood of the sky. But you do not need roaring pumps or complex machinery to invite this element into your sanctuary. Imagine a quiet pool, still and deep, resting like a polished gem amidst the green. Created from a simple repurposed basin or a lined hollow in the earth, this still pond becomes a sanctuary for the smallest of creatures. Without the noise of flowing water, the surface remains unbroken, a perfect mirror reflecting the passing clouds and the nodding heads of flowers. It invites the dragonfly to rest its wings and the thirsty bird to drink in peace. The water lily floats in silent elegance, its roots hidden in the dark depths while its bloom reaches for the sun, a testament to resilience and grace. This stillness teaches us to slow down, to observe the subtle ripples caused by a falling leaf or a gentle breeze. It anchors the garden, providing a center of gravity where chaotic thoughts can settle like silt to the bottom, leaving only clarity behind. And just as nature reclaims the water, let us see how it can reclaim the objects of our daily lives, turning the forgotten into the flourishing. Four, the living furniture. There is a profound beauty in giving a second life to the forgotten. Imagine an old dresser, once filled with linens or letters, now standing proudly under the open sky. Its drawers are no longer pulled shut to hide secrets, but are flung open to spill forth a cascade of petunias and trailing ivy. It is a collision of the domestic and the wild, a reminder that nature is always eager to reclaim what we have built. The peeling paint reveals layers of history, each crack a map of time. By planting life into these wooden relics, we create a living sculpture, a conversation between the past and the present. The rigid lines of the furniture soften as moss creeps up the legs, and the structure becomes a vessel for growth. It tells us that nothing is ever truly broken. It is simply waiting for a new purpose. These unexpected vignettes bring charm and whimsy to the garden, surprising the eye and delighting the heart. They stand as monuments to creativity, proving that beauty can bloom in the most unlikely places. And as we leave this stationary beauty behind, let us look at the ground beneath our feet, where the journey itself begins to take shape. Five, the winding stone path. A straight line is a command to rush, to arrive, to finish. But a winding path is an invitation to wander. In a secret retreat, we do not march, we meander. By laying stones in a gentle curve, disappearing behind a bush or a cluster of ferns, you create a sense of mystery. The eye cannot see the end, and so the mind imagines that the garden goes on forever. The stones themselves, whether gathered from the riverbed or reclaimed from old ruins, offer a grounding rhythm to your steps. Between them, life springs up in the form of soft moss or fragrant creeping thyme, releasing a subtle perfume when brushed against. This living grout softens the hard edges, blending the path back into the earth. Walking here forces you to slow down, to watch where you step, and in doing so, to notice the small miracles at your feet. It is a journey measured not in distance, but in moments of presence. And as the path guides us gently forward, it leads us through an archway that marks the transition from the ordinary to the enchanted. Six, rustic twig arches. Every story needs a beginning, and every secret garden needs a gateway. To build an arch from fallen twigs and twisted branches is to craft a threshold between the mundane world and your private sanctuary. It stands humble and raw, a structure born of the forest floor, yet it holds the power of a grand gate. Woven together by hand, the branches form a lattice for nature to climb. In time, fragrant roses or eager clematis will claim the wood, softening the silhouette until the structure itself seems to disappear into a cloud of blooms. Passing beneath it is a ritual, a physical act of leaving your worries behind and entering a space where time moves slower. This rustic frame captures the sky, framing the view ahead like a living painting. It defines the space without enclosing it, offering a warm welcome to those who know the way. And as we step through this portal, we find ourselves looking for ways to invite not just peace, but life itself into our haven. Seven, upcycled bird bath sanctuary. A garden without song is like a painting without light. To invite the wild is to complete the circle of life within your sanctuary. By stacking humble pots and crowning them with a simple ceramic saucer, you create an oasis for the winged visitors who share your sky. It is a gesture of hospitality, offering cool relief on a warm day. Watch as the stillness is broken by the joyful splash of a sparrow or the delicate sip of a butterfly. This small basin of water becomes a town square for nature, a place of gathering and renewal. It reminds us that we are guardians of this space, and our smallest actions can sustain life. The water reflects the passing seasons, holding the blue of the sky and the green of the leaves in its shallow depths. It brings movement and energy to the quiet corners, turning a static view into a living performance. And as we watch the birds find their rest, we are reminded that we, too, need a place to pause and hide away from the world. Eight, the hidden seating nook. We often build gardens to be seen, but the true treasure lies in the spaces built to be felt. Imagine a corner where the tall grasses and hydrangeas conspire to hide you from the world. Here, nestled behind a veil of green, sits a solitary chair, a throne of solitude. It is not an area for entertaining crowds, but a dedicated space for the quiet company of a book, a cup of tea, or simply your own thoughts. To be hidden is a luxury. In this nook, the rustling leaves become a curtain that separates the busy hum of life from the stillness of the moment. The dappled sunlight filters through the canopy, warming the worn wood of the chair, inviting you to stay just a little longer. It is a space that wraps around you like a blanket, safe and secure. This is where the garden becomes personal. It is no longer just a landscape, it is a confidant. And as we sit in this stillness, observing the ground beneath us, we realize that even the floor of our sanctuary can be soft, inviting, and alive. Nine, moss and stone carpet. Why fight for a manicured lawn when you can walk upon an ancient tapestry? Imagine trading the roar of the mower for the silent growth of emerald velvet. By encouraging moss to weave between weathered stones, you create a floor that feels older than the house itself. A soft, living carpet that invites you to walk barefoot and connect with the cool earth. This is the ground of fairy tales, where the harsh lines of landscaping dissolve into a soft blur of green. The moss does not demand. It simply exists, thriving in the shadows where grass fears to grow. It softens the hard edges of the stones, making them look as though they have been resting there for centuries, waiting for your return. To cultivate this is to cultivate patience and gentleness. It transforms the very act of walking through your garden into a tactile experience, a hush falling over your footsteps. And as the ground softens beneath us, we look up to see how we can lift the beauty of the garden into the air, creating layers that dance at eye level. Hanging chandelier planters. A garden is not merely a carpet to walk upon. It is a room to stand within. To create a true sense of immersion, we must lift our eyes. Imagine floating islands of green suspended in the air, living chandeliers that bring the garden up to meet you. By repurposing old wire baskets or vintage light frames and filling them with cascading ferns and trailing blossoms, you lower the sky and raise the spirit. These hanging gardens create a ceiling of foliage, filtering the harsh noon sun into a soft, dappled embrace. They sway gently in the breeze, adding a hypnotic rhythm to the stillness of the retreat. It is a layer of intimacy often forgotten, turning an open yard into a cozy, enclosed haven. When you are surrounded by life from the ground up to the canopy, the illusion is complete. You are no longer in a backyard. You are inside the heart of nature itself. And as the sun begins to set and the shadows lengthen, these hanging forms await a new kind of magic, one that only reveals itself in the dark. Fairy light jars. When the sun dips below the horizon, the garden should not fade into darkness. It should awaken into a dream. Imagine capturing the stars themselves and keeping them in simple glass jars. By suspending humble mason jars filled with solar lights from the branches of your trees, you create a constellation that belongs only to you. These are not harsh floodlights that banish the shadows, but gentle beacons that embrace them. The thick glass captures the glow, softening it into a warm, amber pulse that mimics the rhythm of fireflies. They turn the ordinary outlines of leaves and branches into mysterious silhouettes, adding a layer of enchantment that is only visible to those who linger after dusk. This is the magic of the secret retreat. It changes its face with the passing of the hours. It is a place where a simple piece of twine and a discarded jar can hold the light of the universe. And as these lights guide our way, they reveal one final secret: that sometimes abundance is not about space, but about density. "12. Container chaos." Nature does not grow in straight lines or singular rows. It erupts in joyful abundance. If the earth beneath your feet is hard or barren, do not despair. Build your garden upward. Imagine a gathering of vessels, terracotta, ceramic, perhaps an old tin bucket, huddled together like old friends. When filled with life, they create a chaotic, beautiful jungle that requires no shovel to plant. This is the art of density. By grouping pots of different shapes and sizes, you create a microclimate of lushness. The boundaries between the containers blur until all you see is a wave of green textures and colorful blooms. It is a garden that is fluid, a landscape that can change its mood with the shifting of a pot. It teaches us that we do not need vast acres to feel surrounded by the wild. We only need the willingness to nurture life in whatever space we hold. A secret retreat is not a place you find on a map. It is a place you curate, pot by pot, stone by stone, until the outside world fades away, leaving you in a paradise of your own making. Creating a secret retreat isn't about hiding from the world. It's about creating a space where you can finally hear yourself think. Whether you use a single mirror to expand your view or a stack of driftwood to claim your privacy, remember that your garden is your canvas. If this video sparked a new idea for your home, please give it a like and share it with a friend who needs a little escape. Thanks for watching Home and Garden Borneo, and I'll see you in the next project.